A year into Joe Biden's occupation of the Oval Office, America has suffered its first terrorist attack at the hands of a radicalized Islamic fundamentalist. Could it be that Biden and his government have changed the definition of terrorist, just like they've done with the word criminal? The terror attack confirms America is less safe under socialist rule. That is our observation in tonight's preamble. In Texas, over the weekend, a radicalized Islamic terrorist interrupted services at a Jewish synagogue, taking 4 hostages at gunpoint. He wanted a woman by the name of Afia Siddiqui freed from her prison that was just 24 miles away from that synagogue. The woman, known as Lady Al-Qaeda, is serving an 86-year sentence for attempting to murder and assault U.S. military personnel in Afghanistan. Now, thankfully, the Texas terrorist is dead, and all the hostages got out safely. But no thanks to left-wing policies. As all of you know, one of the tenets of being a socialist in good standing with Joe Biden's Democrat Party is your declaration of love and ensuing actions as it pertains to criminals. Joe Biden's party has been busy defunding police. His VP has bailed rioters out of jail. Left-wing DAs have been busy allowing criminals to violate the law with no consequences. Now, this has led to an ongoing crime wave, the likes of which the United States hasn't seen in decades. We'll show you more evidence of this later in the show. But Joe Biden has signaled lawlessness and his America Last agenda in a myriad other ways. Joe Biden has opened our southern borders, for example, to millions of illegal aliens. His team has lost track of tens of thousands of those illegal aliens as they've disappeared into America, as the socialists had planned. Joe Biden has allowed opioids to flood America's streets, leading to over 100,000 opioid deaths on his watch. And Joe Biden has partnered with these narco-terrorists to not only bring in illegal aliens and illicit drugs into America, but the illegal gun market has exploded under Joe Biden. And that is where our terrorist in Texas comes in.
Allegedly, I don't have all the facts, nor does the Attorney General, but allegedly the assertion was he got the weapons on the street. He purchased them when he landed, and allegedly he purchased it on the street. Now, what that means, I don't know. Whether he purchased from an individual in a homeless shelter or a homeless community, or whether because that's where he said he was, it's hard to tell. I just don't know.
Yeah, that's right, Biden. Go ahead, blame homeless people. It's their fault. The brother of the Texas terrorist revealed that his brother had mental issues and a lengthy criminal record. The brother asked, but Biden's government didn't, how was my brother able to enter the United States with his mental and criminal history? Well, we've already covered that, haven't we? Biden's government loves to import criminals into the United States, regardless of the harm they could do to we American citizens. Another aspect of this was the response of the Federal Bureau of Investigations. After the Texas terrorist busted into a Jewish synagogue during a Jewish service, took Jewish hostages, and demanded that a well-known Jew hater, Lady Al-Qaeda, be let out, Joe Biden and Merrick Garland's FBI said the following, quote, "We do believe from our engaging with this subject that he was singularly focused on one issue, and it was not specifically related to the Jewish community, but we're continuing to work to find a motive," end quote. Now, many people were scratching their heads over that one. Others were righteously angry over a pattern that has been developing at our politicized FBI, one that is decidedly anti-American and profoundly consistent with the Socialist Democrat Party. That same FBI that called another Texas terrorist attack at Fort Hood workplace violence is the same FBI that called a crazed Bernie Sanders supporter taking a high-powered rifle trying to kill GOP congressman on a baseball field a, quote, suicide by cop incident. That is also the same FBI that just called a radicalized Islamic terrorist busting into a Jewish synagogue, taking Jewish hostages, and threatening to kill them if America didn't free another Jew hater as, quote, not specifically related to the Jewish community, end quote. Well, that went over like a lead balloon. Not 24 hours later, after Americans blasted the FBI's dunderheaded statement as nakedly political and deferential to the Socialist Democrat approach to law enforcement and terrorism, the organization that once had the reputation as the finest law enforcement agency in the world changed its tune, saying, quote, This is a terrorism-related matter in which the Jewish community was targeted and is being investigated by the Joint Terrorism Task Force, end quote. Joe Biden and his socialists have brought us to this point. They and their like-minded agents in government have changed their emphasis from America first to America last. In so doing, they have allowed criminals to break the law with impunity, while they pledge to staff more IRS agents to go after every penny they say we Americans owe them. Permanent Washington has taken their eye off radicalized Islamic terrorists and narco-terrorists with criminal records and instead focused on caring parents who attend school board meetings, labeling those parents domestic terrorists. America's true enemies are embraced, supported, and enabled in Joe Biden's socialist America. And our innocent, law-abiding citizens are called, well, they're called this.
I know where I stand. I will not yield. I will not flinch. I will defend the right to vote, our democracy against all enemies, foreign and, yes, domestic.
When our enemies are treated like honored guests and our law-abiding fellow citizens are treated as enemies by a corrupt, left-wing dominated government, that's a sign that that government has grown beyond the consent of the governed. It has exceeded its constitutional mandate and must be restored to the constitutional republic it was intended to be by our founding fathers. And I can think of no socialist Democrat and few Republicans who are up to leading us in that task.
After the last election, liberty-minded Americans are facing a difficult question. What do we do now? We do have a plan to stop them. This is the only plan that bypasses Biden and Congress to save the republic. Sign the petition at conventionofstates.com.